All right, so we have 10-15 minutes of glitch for technical issues. So I'm going to start reiterating again. Today we are not going to go over entire slides. I'm going to introduce today about the syllabus as well as what we expect from this course, and most importantly, I'll also highlight the new system so that you know how to use it properly. So let me start sharing first with the slides, just to say what is this course about and all that. So these slides or the PDFs are already available on the new systems. If you don't know where to find it, let us know. But mostly if you are here, you are enrolled, you should see that. And again, this is a undergrad level class, higher senior level class. And eventually this class will be also co-registered with grad students. So far, I have not done it because we don't have a grad class for remediations, at least for the way we teach this class. There is a bioremediation class, not this kind of design. So eventually there will be grad students attending this class, and so that they can also receive the credit for elective. They will still receive credit, but eventually it will happen. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce, at least most of you would know me if you have taken 153. If not, I'll just a little bit talk about myself and also TA. And these are the 4 objectives. You'll also learn syllabus, how to do well in this class, and what's the reason for taking this class, or how this can benefit you. And then we'll discuss about today's topic, environmental laws. And for that one, I want you guys to watch the last year video because very similar. It's not really any, anything that is quantitative. So just briefly, I did my undergrads and masters in physics before I decided to change to environmental engineering. I got my master's PhD in civil environmental engineering. Did a couple of postdocs before I joined at UCLA 5 years ago. So I teach CEE153 and 2 more classes, including this. But most of the class are related to some way sustainability, because if you think of environmental issues, how to create a solutions that is that take care of environment as well as economicals is part of sustainable solutions. So my initial experience in how I I grew up in India, where the pollution was pretty common. As you can see in the very low left pictures, that's the city where I grew up. You can see this is open drainage systems. That's the sewer, like all these, from a toilet, all that water goes through this open channel, and people dump all these plastics. And so it's very difficult to manage those kind of system in a very populated area, particularly which has not evolved with new systems or how to handle the waste. So this particular, as you can see, that time I didn't know even what's the better way. This is kind of accepted that time, but once I came here, I realized, wow, this is definitely, something that is very different. So these courses, some of my experience are there, kind of drive my interest in research. So I don't introduce this class, I revive this class. This class was last taught in 1992. The professor who taught this class, it was basically focused mostly on remediations design. And then it was not taught because he moved. So I revived this class in 2018. I started with the idea of not just remediations, but also managing waste in a sustainable way. Because remediation occurs because you have lots of waste that pollute certain systems like soils and water. So once I change the narrative in a way, it becomes more applied to certain things that we need now. That you can see the enrollment has increased over a period of time. So it's kind of, I don't want this to be much bigger than this. 60 is all kind of a magic numbers. Anything bigger will be hard to manage with the projects. So this is just, again, I want to say that my research is very aligned with this class, is how we design the systems using the waste. For instance, if you can see here, you have irons and you have biochar. These are derived from waste materials. So I teach these other two courses. CEE163 is a prerequisite for this class, particularly if you're undergrads. But even you have not taken, it's not like you'll struggle. It's just some of the concept you'll repeat here. If you didn't hear this one before, I'll just point you to the specific lecture in CEE153 so that you catch up. And the next quarter, I teach CEE159 or 259. That's where grad students, undergrad together work on projects on green infrastructures. So that's more on the stormwater management in a way that can pollute less as well as use less energy. So the premise of this class is more about not just managing waste, but also using waste as a resource. So that's part of the sustainable approach, where you, for instance, if you think of big cities, you collect waters from different places. Like in LA, you collect water from Colorado rivers, or Northern California. You create materials to build cities, and then you produce waste that you dump in landfills or ocean. That's not sustainable because you can't have enough. As the population grows, the demand is much higher. You can't get enough outside. So you have to recycle in between. And that's the whole approach of sustainable waste management. How to create this, how to use this waste for resource. So that's the overall class, what we are going to do. So now I'm going to introduce Anja. So Anja, if you want to speak few words about your background, I just wrote it here just so that you know who is C. You probably met her in CEE153. And there are discussion class you will have. Those are optional, but I highly encourage you to attend that, particularly when there is a projects. 50% of the grades, nearly 50% is project. She's going to help you on writing those. So Anja, you want to speak few minute about your
Yes, so hello everyone. So my name is Anja. So I'm a third-year PhD student with Professor Mohanty. And I used to teach CEE153 last quarter. That's why I recognize some students here. But I used to teach French in the French department because I'm French. I have the double nationality. I'm French and also come from Madagascar. So, so I'm doing a research which is about mitigating the impact of wildfire on water quality using a green infrastructure. And it's been since 2018, I'm at UCLA because I came for a master first and then I pursued a PhD. So yeah, that's all about it.
Thanks, Anja. So as you see, Anja's research in wildfire, every time there is a fire, there are lots of ash, and those ash obviously is a bad things for pollutions. Other part of our research is to collect rare earth elements from those ash, and so that's other students are doing it. So we integrate that kind of waste into resource. So we'll talk more about those later. Next class, I'll introduce you some projects that we did last year, so that you have an idea of what kind of project you wanted to use as your class. So now I want to just briefly say that you have, as of now, there are 60 students, I think, enrolled in this class. That's kind of a capacity. I increased to 70 at the end, just so that a few of you can enroll. But typically it is 60 students class. And this is the distributions. Majority of the students are from civil engineering, environmental science, and chemical engineering. Then we have one student from many different departments. So I'm going to put question. This is your participation credits. Is I'll put this kind of question on Canvas so that you know how to use it and how to use it for discussions. And there is also a reason behind it. So these are the two questions I'll put in the discussion. So you just have to fill up for yourself. So this is like a survey. The reason I want these two questions I put there is because in some way or other, we'll put you in a group together with 8 teams on a project that somehow linked to what response you have given here. So for instance, any kind of leisure activity you do, it has an environmental footprint. So that will help you also learn about that process to some extent. So this is again, this is all in a fun way. So don't take it too seriously, but write whatever comes to your mind. So another thing I want to test here is if you can use, let's say, I'm going to create a poll now just to see whether you can use Zooms. So let's say generic questions just to see how it works. Again, I'm not expecting to use Zoom all the time because this is just the options that we did. So now, based on these questions, which one describe why did you enroll in this class? So option A, B, C, D. If you can just choose 54 students. So let's see now. All right, 30, almost 43 students has responded yet. Still 11 more. This is just a test also, just to see if you are just here at, no, just kidding. Okay, so I'm going to end the poll in 6 seconds. End the poll now. Okay, I'm sharing the results. So 79% students is listening right now. Okay, but the results is, as you see, by far many of you take this class because of your personal interest, which is very, obviously, you can take this class for whatever reasons. I took all the classes without any reasons in my grad student's time or undergrad student time because required. So again, there is a time when you can enroll. So that's something I just put it there because just to be mindful about that time. Okay, so let's go to the next slides. Impact of this class. I just, again, these are all in the video. I just want to say that there are many kind of, everything we do related to waste is somewhere or other helping our future generations to live in a world that is not too polluted. And these YouTube videos are there on the Canvas webpage. So I'm going to describe that a little bit more. There is a homework question here. This is something you should see that in the slides. This is again another just a thought questions. If I have to ask you this question before even you see the slides, what would be your answers? For instance, let's see. The question is, which of the following waste presents at the highest quantity in the municipal waste? These are things that you produce at your home. So if you see the previous, you can think of what kind of waste you are producing, not just your apartment. These are all goes to, they all go to municipal waste. So now I'm going to recreate that sample. And again, okay, so Just take a guess, just to see what you think would be the, you'll be surprised. Every year, we don't get it right. Okay, I'm going to hit poll in 5 seconds. All right, share results. As you can see, C, nobody chose C, which is expected because you are living in LA and not many people have yard. So that's expected. Then we have by far the major portion we think is plastics, right? So 53% thought this is a plastic is by far the most produced waste in municipal waste. And then the food, then the paper. But if you think of, the volume or the size wise, now we are buying so much stuff online. All the times we are producing lots of cardboard. So by far the major portion is actually B. Answer is B. Paper is the by far the most high volume or even weight. All right, so that's why I say you'll see those slides so that you know what kind of answer you should expect. This class is also particularly helpful for many of you if you wanted to join a lab. For instance, if you work in our lab, these are the students who are working in this. You can see in the pictures they were in this class, and that's how they introduced to the experiments. We give them some opportunity to at least learn some process in the lab so that they get some training. Why not? If not, then they can also continue working longer. So again, that's just one option. And then also there are many kinds of job. Here I listed just few of them that you can do having this as a skill. So the next thing is syllabus. I'll talk very briefly, but before that, any question? Okay, I'll just quickly go through the syllabus now. I'm not going to get this poll because this is pointless. The most important thing here, this is letter grade, so you'll get A, B, C, D, but the minimum grade in this class is B. Assuming that you have, if you submitted all your assignment, you get B by default. Anything above is based on your performance. The reason is the way this is structured, you have final projects. So that's something, most people do well there, all of you, because it's a team project. And there is a class participation, 5%, which is basically taking this the practice quiz, which is assigned on the canvas. Yes, any questions? Somebody raise a hand, right?
Yes. So if we submit, or just to repeat, if we submit everything and take all the exams, the minimum grade we get is a B?
Yes. And it's not like I'm doing a favor, because you'll realize that it's very difficult to lose points here in this class. Partly because, the midterms, I'm assuming that you are taking the midterms. You're not, as I said, you have to attend everything. You have to appear in all those things. And you just add up to that. The very rarely people get less than 80%. Very rarely. Even you get, I get, they have to resubmit certain things and then it changes to that. So there is no final, you are correct. This is a project related class. So you'll do a team projects. That's and the team projects is due at the last week. We'll go through that quickly. So there are 3 to 4 homeworks. There will be probably one more extra homework in the second half, but I'll let you know if it is the case. But there are a few homeworks which will prepare you for your midterms exam, which is week 7. And that's mostly everything covered by week 5. And then there are 4 quizzes, short quizzes, and those are like, you already see those in practice quiz. And best 3 quiz will be accounted for. So you're not, you have one bad quiz will be removed. Then you have also final projects where you work as a team, and we'll help you. It's not like team, you'll work on the final projects at the end. You'll work from the day 1. So not day 1, week 2 or week 3. So there are very specific things due for the final projects, which will help you prepare for it. So that means by the time in the week 10, you are done with the final projects. We'll help you on that. So this will help you prepare for writing, as well as preparing for projects in real world. So this is how the structure is. The first 5 weeks, you are basically discussing technologies for remediations and treatment of hazardous waste. Those are quantitative skill. You'll learn how to use engineering methods to design these systems. So though your midterms will be tested on those. Then week 6, 7 is more on municipal management of waste. That's where you will talk about how to design landfill, how to produce energy from waste, a little bit. But in the last 2 weeks is mostly recovering waste, recovering resource from waste. Those are the new advanced stuff about, for instance, ash or fly ash, coal ash. How do you get rare earth element from it? For instance, wastewater, how to derive useful resource, that's a nutrient recovery from agriculture waste. How to get energy from waste, like wastewater. So these are the things you learn in the last 2 weeks. But in the second half, you will be mostly focusing on the projects and while learning all the other things. So homework is only 3 to 4 homework. Quiz, again, I'll increase the time for the quiz because I realize that I don't want to have before you get 10 minutes or 15 or 20 minutes for 10 question or 5 question. I'll increase a little bit of time so that it's not a factor. Then again, there is no finals. I'll explain. I'll share the last year midterm so that you know what to expect. These are the 4 quiz every second week, or you can see that this is the end of second week, end of 4th week, end of 6th week or 7th. You can check that. So these are the dates we have quiz. And again, quiz are 24 hours in the sense that it will be released, but you have certain specific time to, once you open it, you have certain time. Project, it's a team project. So that means you will decide your team. But if you don't decide by next week, we'll create a poll so that we'll arrange you in different weeks, different teams. Maximum 8 students per team. A team should not have less than 6 students, just so that we don't have to manage too many teams. And again, as you can see, this will help you writing, reading, analyzing research articles, presenting your findings in a very plain English, and work as a team. So you learn all the other skill there by just working on a real world project. And these are the deadline, as you can see, just by identifying the topic, just one line saying this is the topic as a team we discussed, and this is something you want to pursue. You'll receive 5% of your project grade. Then we'll help you work on the outlines, how to create an outline for any projects. That's something you learn in next 1 week, and that's 10% of your grade. So that's where TA comes in. I'm going to help you on that. Then by February 25th, you have a rough draft. Rough draft is basically you work on for a while, and then we help you. We meet you whenever you need, and we give you some feedbacks on that way so that you get some kind of draft ready by 25th February. I think this is dates are probably mislead. 21 here is I have to change it. Check on the syllabus. So that's the 30% of your grade. And then presentation in the, I think these dates are wrong. This is last year. March 3 or something, you have to check which date exactly is the presentation. That's usually the last class. There you will present to the whole class. You receive 10% of your grade, report by just doing that. And then you will submit your final report, which is 45%. By that time, I already have read it and give you some comments. So you are just addressing it. So it's not like you are doing a lot in the final week. So participation credit, I already discussed. You got to take this these discussions and appear this practice quiz on Canvas. That way I know that you have at least read your read the slides and you have discussed that, or you have good understanding. So also the Canvas. So I already enrolled you, or I didn't enroll you on CampusWare. This is something I have been using before, but I was told that Canvas can do the exact same thing. Means you can all go to Canvas and start discussion point there. You can ask questions. There is one. It's like a forum. So if we can do that on Canvas, we'll not use CampusWare. That way we just don't have to use too many things, but we still have to figure it out. So again, this is just to give a point here that your effort is what we grade for most of the time. This class is, sustainable waste management is no direct way. You have to be creative. So that's also reflects on your work. You should be creative. You should try whatever way you can think of. You should write. So that you should receive some credit for that. So that's why this makes it almost difficult for people to. Nobody failed this class as long as they submit everything, whatever they can try. So the minimum grade roughly is B, assuming all assignments are submitted. If you miss midterms, obviously you are losing 30%. So if you are just giving your effort, you will get B no matter what. But historically, more than 90% people get A minus or higher. Okay, so I'm not going to go through this. These are things are there already in the slides in the last year. I just want to show that at the very end of this class, these are many links given here. If you see these links is also given on Canvas. So if you follow through these slides, you should be able to answer most of the questions on the practice quiz, which is at the end here. These are the quiz questions on Canvas. So once you watch the video, everything, or even just read the materials, just by going through this link and the slide, you should be able to answer this quiz. So I'm going to stop sharing now and let's have some question answer before I show you the Canvas. There was a question, how can I find all assignments on Canvas? Okay. Let me share the screen for Canvas now. Okay, so I don't know exactly what you see, but this is what I see on my end. There are a couple of courses I teach, and one is seminar. And one thing I want to mention that if you enroll in the seminar, this is exact same time. Particularly this apply for grad students. There are 2 grad students. Those will also put the video on Canvas for the seminar. So as long as you watch there later, you get 4 credits. It's just you will not be able to attend live seminar on the same time. So it's just unfortunate they put both in the same time. So that affects, I think, 2 students, Sam and Renata. Both of you probably will be affected by that. Okay, so there is a second question. Jennifer asked, which lecture should I watch if I have not taken 153? So that you don't have to worry about now. That's what we'll get to that. But if you go to every module, so this is a link where you can, let's say, go to the home page. it says, week 1. You just click on week 1. It'll take you the week 1 modules. These are all different materials you can find here. So this says, as you can see, the very first one, it's a lecture 1. So let me see student view. That way I can see what you see. Okay. All right. So this is what you see. Week 1, lecture 1. And then it says there's a heading called watch. That means if you see these symbols, that means there is a web link. So that means there is not reading material. So if you click there, it'll open up a YouTube. So then you should watch, so 1 minute video. So it's really not that much time. It just give you some perspective about what is this class about. So this is like 1 or 2 minute video or 5 minute maximum video. You should watch them. And ideally, you should watch them before coming to class, which is okay if you don't watch, but this will help you think of why this class is that lecture is particularly important. Then you have some reading assignment. These reading assignment will help you answer homework questions or quiz questions, which is basically at the end assessment quiz, as you can see. We'll get there. So if you click on this one, as you see, there are 2 kinds of symbol. One is a web link, which is basically link already given on your slides. So this is just a double thing. So you just go there. For some reason, I refuse to connect. But if not, then you can copy that link from the slides and see that. I'm not sure why it didn't work. But if you go to the next link, maybe this website is down right now, but if I click that one, yeah, it works. So if you click on the top corner, open in a separate page, then it works. So just know that it's a glitch here in this system. But then you have reading assignment for lecture 1. So that's basically the handout. So as you see, this is a book chapter for a book. This has most of the information that we cover in the lecture 1. So you should now check this, just skim through this book chapter so that you know what's out there. But mostly if you answer the question given at the end, this is something you get an idea. Between slides and those questions, you should know what is important. But this is just enough information here for that. If I go back, so that's the reading assignment, something that you need to answer the question. And then you have a slide, so this each lecture, this is lecture 1, so you'll expect to have 1 slide at least there. So this is the slides that I just cover right now. So here you'll see the PDF. So I go back, how to go back to that last one. And then assuming you attend the lectures, you'll also see lecture recording. So this is the last year recording YouTube video. So this is the recording from last year. I want you guys to watch it so that you know the content of environmental laws. And also I'll post the recording of today here, but it says this is last year. If it's this year, I'll also say this is lecture 1 recording. And then at the end of the day, you got to take this quiz. This assessment quiz is not graded for your right answer. This is just for your sake, so that whether you understand the answer or not. So for instance, I already attempted it. I deliberately make wrong answers, or see if I choose wrong answer, what response it gives. So if you click that one, I don't know how to take the quiz. Okay, maybe here. Next. No. I guess maybe 1 attempt allowed. So I got to change that to multiple attempt. That way you can take many times if you want to, but at least I want you guys to try this one first. So these are the things, every lectures will have informations organized proper way, which is, I like this version more than CCLE. Again, it's just the it takes the slides and organizes in a way that is more informative. So this quiz is always due by next class. So for instance, whatever class we cover today, there will be an assessment quiz. By beginning of next class, I expect you to take this quiz so that I know that you understood these materials. So again, will this quiz be fact-based, like remembering specific date and details? As you see, this quiz are open book and no time, means you can open the question as long as you want. The idea here is that you open the slides and all that. If you didn't understand it, you go back into the slides and answers. So specific dates will not be given, but there will be sometimes you'll have to memorize certain laws. And you see the questions, how the quiz questions are on the slides. So if you go to the slides, those quiz questions, these are the same quiz questions. These are not different. Sometimes I may give, but let's see. Not sure how to go to the, okay, let's go to the last slide. Yeah, so this is the quiz, for instance. Does Resource Conservation Recovery Act include liquid and gas hazardous waste? Yes or no? Something that you're not able to answer unless you read that particular chapters or you watch the video. You don't need to read it if you watch the video, but if something is not clear, you know where to go. Again, this will help you prepare for your homework as well as your learning assignment. Okay, so this is where do we go to answer that question from beginning? Where do we go to answer that question from the beginning of class about our hobby? What? Oh, yes, that question I didn't put it yet. I just didn't know how to put that question survey. I'm trying to figure it out. I'll put it before next class so that you know, because I need that information by next week. But I'll again, let's go through linearly so that you know how to use this these sites, because this is new. I spent like 2 days to understand this, but this is much better than CCLE. So again, let me go to, I'm now watching on the student view, so you should see exactly what I see. So here you have informations about office hour, Zoom link. This is the same Zoom link for Anja and me. So any TA discussion hour, everything, we use the exact same Zoom link. And then you have just a quick link of different weeks. So you can, if you click that, it'll go there. It'll open up the syllabus if you go there. And here is the announcement page. I really like this one because I don't want you guys to send me email because email is buried. It's very easy for me to not respond to email if I don't see it. But here, if any email you send here, I don't know whether you can send it or not because student view. I have to find how we can integrate together so all of you can, I think in the discussions. But here, every announcement related to class will be here so that you don't have to check your emails. You may receive the email, but at least one place you can go and it will populate every announcement here. I think you'll receive an email notifications when I post any announcement. This is just more helpful. So for instance, this is one thing, just example. Second is assignment. This is where it will tell what is the upcoming assignment. For instance, homework, if you click on that one, it tells you the homework questions. It just put the question here, okay? It didn't say anything. It says upload a file, but don't upload anything here because if you see, go down here, this is a grade scope. I prefer you to upload on the grade scope because that way we can always, so if you go there, this is your homework. If you click on the question, you will be able to download the questions. Okay, these are the questions. And then you upload your solution here, okay? And then Anja will grade those questions. So this homework again is due in January 13th, that's next Thursday. So typically this homework is released on every Thursday. So it's due in 1 week from now, but I release it so that you know what kind of question are there. So that when you look at the slide itself, you know what is on the slides. So again, this is the assignment. This is the area that I'm going to learn a little bit more how to do it. This is where we can, because it's a student view, you can create a discussions. You can, let's say you have some question related to homework. So you can write homework, whatever title you want, homework 1, question 3, doubts. Then you write your things and you put it here. So hold on, let me close the door. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is really useful information. If we can have a conversation here, discussion like a forum format, then we don't need a campus fair, because I really want you guys to discuss with each other for team, for your projects related to homework. So everything is here. And that way I don't have to respond, because if some students already know the answers, they can always help the peers. So I'll try to figure it out, how to use it, how to facilitate this process. So my hope is that if we use this one very, very effectively, this will be more engaging. Here is the grade. So you will see your grade. If you click that one, it will open up the questions. Again, that's one thing. But I think, in my view, I can see everybody's grade. In fact, you can see your grade for each homework and everything you have attended, so that it's automatically populate all the grades sequentially. So you know you're standing throughout the class. Then here, these are all the pages. If you click on view all the pages, it will show you what pages are there. It's just a home page, so that's why it doesn't say anything else. Again, this is syllabus. Syllabus has everything, same materials, but there is a PDF here. You can download from here, or you can see all the rest of the informations. This is not extensive, so I rather have you guys click here on the PDF. That way you can see other informations. Let's see what else. Quizzes. Yeah, this is where so I want you guys to check assignment, which will give you the homework, but for some reason it doesn't show the quiz there. So that's where you have to click. So when you click this one, it will take you to the quiz. It will says when it's due. So that's January 6, 12 p.m. That's before the next class. And you have 6 questions, 6 points. This 6 point is just for there, but it's not going to, as long as you have appear, you get the full credits for participation. This is again just for your learning. Then you have module. And then I don't know why it says access denied. So that means good to know that you will not have access to that. Any other, I have no idea. So let's see, this is Zoom. I think grade scope is the next only thing you need to know. This is where you upload all your homework solutions, so that we can grade it here. All right, I think that's all for the Canvas. Any other questions on Canvas, how to use it?
Hi, Professor. I had a question on the homework submission.
Yeah.
So do you want us to submit to both Gradescope and Canvas, or just Gradescope?
Just the Gradescope. I'll try.
Okay, so
Yes.
Oh, sorry. So we just leave the Canvas one just unsubmitted?
Yeah, I have to check how to disable that, because I just put it there so that it shows there is a due date. I just didn't know how to disable it. Maybe I'll disable that uploading there. That way you know that there is no option there. The reason I use Gradescope, actually, let me go back so that you can see what I see. There is called rubric here. This rubric is about, it could be about the homework too. This is exactly same thing Gradescope does. It's just the Gradescope is so easier for me before, so that I don't know how to do the same thing here. Once I figure that out, we don't have to use Gradescope, but maybe no, that will not happen this quarter. Just Gradescope is so easy for us before, so it's going to use it for that. That's only for homework and midterms. Quiz, you'll take it here. And let's see what else. Okay, so I think that's it's going to go back to the same thing here. Yes, any question on Canvas? Oh, here is an inbox. I don't know exactly what this inbox means. It says access denied for you. Maybe it is for me if you send me any message. Oh, again, another useful information here. This, when you put calendar, it shows what is due here. So it shows homework 1 is due on 13th. So that's kind of useful because it kind of integrate with the calendar. So that's very useful for you. And for me, it just shows one course. Maybe it will show you many courses based on your enrollment. And then dashboard, nothing else. Yeah. All right, so that's all for the how to use the Canvas.
Professor,
Yes.
I just checked. We also have an inbox, but it looks like you can send us messages through there.
Okay. Well, if you learn any new techniques or tips that from other classes, because I know that everybody is trying to learn how to use it. Well, I'm sure there are some professors who have already used it before, because many of my colleagues who transferred to UCLA or moved from other school to here, they used this system before. They said it's pretty good. So if you know that some other professors are using Canvas in a way that is useful, I will use it. Just teach me how to do it. So I think that's all for the in terms of, I want to highlight all that. In the next tab, you can watch the environmental laws aspect of the YouTube video. So that way you know how to answer those questions on the quiz. Any question about the you know what, let's do one thing. Let's go back to the course. I want to show you something about because this will be very helpful, because 50% of your grade related to, nearly 50% related to your projects. This is the last year YouTube videos. So if you keep going all the down, that's just one example. Let's watch it together. For instance, this is just projects that students did. I can also share their project reports so that you know how they look like. Obviously, that's not just one standard way to do it. You just have to understand how much effort it takes to finish that project. So watch one of those videos so that you know what students did in last year for different projects. For instance, this particular class, they thought of using seaweed to remove nutrients from wastewater so that it become fertilizer. So the idea here is that if you have lots of nutrients, it creates eutrophications in ocean as well as lake. So what if you take the nutrients by growing seaweed near the coastal area, and then those seaweeds can be used as a fertilizer in agricultural field. So this is something they did waste management as a way. So you can see, you can listen to their talk, how they calculated that in Hyperion, wastewater treatment plant, which is just few miles from UCLA, is one of the largest one in the West Coast. And they don't treat nutrients. That means all the nutrients in wastewater is dumped into Santa Monica Bay. So they decided how much, if they use this kind of techniques, how much space they need. They realize it's unrealistic. They need a lot of space, which they don't have it. Which is okay, you know. It's not like you have to create a design that will work for everybody. It's just a lot of times the project is all about feasibility. You will see at the end of the project that it's not feasible, which is also a conclusion. So as you can see, they use some mass balance equations to calculate all that. So you learn all this concept, also mass balance concept, to apply these problems. And then they based on the equation, they can draw this different hypothetical graph based on different flow rate. So this is just one, they did different things here. And again, will help you coming up with this equation, so that. So that's the whole idea of TA and IM there. Once you decide a project, will help you how to formulate, create that project narrative and all that. So as you can see here, only 2 students presented. This is because it's Zoom. Last year it was completely online. I just hope that this year it will not be completely online. If not, then we will present in the class, or there is also option for you to pre-record and send it to us so that we can play that during the class. And yeah, 2 or 3 of you can present, or all of you can present. It's up to you. It's based on the team. And obviously, presentations is a team effort, so you'll receive same credit for the entire team. But when it comes to project report, there is a overall grade that you receive. All of you receive the same grade, but there is also a very specific section will divide for each person. So for instance, when you create the outline, you have to decide which person is doing what. So that way we know also the effort from each person. So that way there is some difference might be some difference in grade based on that. That way, you know, let's say one student didn't do anything in their entire team. Whole rest of the team should not suffer for that. I mean, there will be obviously as a whole grade a little bit less, but that will not be too much to affect the complete grade for you. But at least that way is fair for the students who did most of the work. So you should watch this. At least I put 4 projects. There are 8 or 9 projects, but these are the 4 projects there. I put it there. Other I didn't. But you can see, you know, every lectures are there anyway. And we modify syllabus a little bit every year based on the feedback from last year. So you should watch that. You should watch that so that you know what kind of projects to decide. Any question? So are you guys coming back next week or this week to campus? Or you are already here? Next week? Yeah.
Yeah, next week.
Yeah, I think, you know, what I heard from everybody that they wanted to check how much infections students have, you know, because they expect that there'll be spike in COVID, and they want to minimize that spike so that the LA County doesn't shut down UCLA. That's what I was told. But no, I think, you know, most likely it'll be in person from 3rd week. I hope so, because, you know, this class is so engaging in terms of working together as a team. You learn a lot more. But if not, we'll create some kind of discussion forum such a way that at least for first 2-3 weeks we'll continue have discussion there. I don't know if there is a group me. I don't know what is group me, but if you know how to create it, go for it.
Oh yeah, Professor, I was going to ask you what you think is the likelihood that they'll announce that it's going to be online for longer.
I have no extra information as you do. We all are hoping to have in person. That's based on, because we'll see, it's the LA County has the guideline. How many students can together if there is a certain number of infections. So if assume, let's say very few people are infected when you guys come back, it'll be all in person. Just they will isolate them, because we did that last quarter. But let's hope for, as I said, we can't do much about it. That's not in our control. I just hope that to meet you guys in person, because something I miss in CEE163 is that so many students and only 30% students attended the class. So I don't really even know 70% students, because they never come to the class. So here I just hope that most of you could join. Okay, so this is the first class. I again watch the video and see the environmental laws. Next class, we are going to talk about in person, or not in person, in Zoom, but we'll discuss more about risk assessment. That will be, I'll at least cover some materials, because I want to spend today on the Canvas side of it. Next class will cover some materials during the Zoom. Okay, somebody made a group me. I don't know what is that, but I'm going to post that. I'm going to copy it and post on the announcement. That way, the link is there. All right. See you then next Thursday, this Thursday.
Thank you. Have a good day.
What is TYSN?
Thank you so much.
Oh, I see. Okay. I thought it's a code word for group me join, so I want to post that on. Okay. All right. Well, see you guys all. Thank you again for coming today. Don't
Thank
forget
you.
to
Thank you, Professor.
take
Thank
the
you, Professor.
Thank you.